Hi humans, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive through my Wizarding World profile, which is basically, my Harry Potter house, my wand, and my Patronus. I think that it's time that I go into depth about everything. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about my house. And Slytherins are really known to be very evil throughout the Harry Potter series, which I don't necessarily agree with. I just think that J.K. Rowling had a very specific vendetta against someone, and so she structured an entire house around them. But she also did give the house some pretty redeeming qualities, but made everyone in the house evil. But anyways, so Slytherins value ambition, leadership, self-preservation, cunning, resourcefulness, determination, and cleverness. And these are good qualities, like as much as you look at them and you're like, oh. And it's pretty well known that Slytherins will do anything to achieve their ends, which I don't think is also necessarily a bad thing, but I'm just gonna go explain that one by one. Determination is easily the easiest one to be like, yes, that is definitely a good quality. That to be determined to strive for something can never be... It can be a negative thing if you're doing it too much and if you're disregarding everything else on your path to get there, but it's a good quality regardless. Cleverness is also a really good quality. That's one thing that I think most people forget about the Hogwarts houses, is that their traits are very interlinked. It just happens to be the final goal which differentiates what values they hold. So cleverness can go for both Slytherin and Ravenclaw, but Slytherins use cleverness to achieve what they want in the end, while Ravenclaws value cleverness. They believe cleverness is a very essential value to live, while Slytherins find cleverness an essential value to survive. And to do that, they would do anything to achieve their means is phrased in a very negative light, but it isn't necessarily negative. It's not a malicious, villainous thing to do. If you think about it, this can mean that you can break down all the barriers which are trying to stop you, all the social norms, all the people that are telling you to back down, to stop doing what you're doing, telling you that you're not good enough. You can move past all that. It's just phrased in a bad way, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Although, I do think that this is something that I do a lot in my own life, but it's not a good thing in my life. Usually when I study, now this isn't something that I consciously do, this is something that my body just subconsciously does as a reaction to stress. If I have to finish this essay and I have to do it really quickly and I'm really stressed about it, I will just sit there and I will start typing away, I'll start writing away, and my body will forget to alert me about just vital body stuff. Like, I will not realize that I'm hungry, that I'm thirsty, that I need to go to the bathroom. I cannot realize that at all. I will just be sitting there, ultra stressed, and then when I finally finished and I'm like, okay, and then everything will suddenly start to weigh down on me, like, girl, you really need to eat. Even though for the past 2 hours I hadn't felt anything at all, suddenly now I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm actually so hungry. I need a sip of water. It's just, my brain just bypasses those thoughts, those essential survival thoughts while I'm stressed, which isn't a good thing, but it also really does tie in to do anything to achieve what they want, I need to write that essay and I will disregard my health for it. Cunning, again, is a word with very strong negative connotations, but it has the same meaning as cleverness. It just happens to be doing it in a devious, perhaps, the way that other people might not like it way. I think self-preservation also kind of comes with that, where you think that self-preservation is just very much selfishness, which I don't think it is. I think you can preserve your self-worth and you can preserve your image without being a villain. And then there's pride. Pride, I feel like, is one that has it's a very double-edged sword in English, but in the languages that I speak, pride is actually a very, very positive trait, that you should definitely have pride in everything that you do, while ego, being egotistic, is a completely different word, which I like to relate back to this. I would like to think that this is a positive kind of pride, because you can always get too much of a trait. But that's not strictly relating to just Slytherin. Gryffindor's traits are bravery, and too much bravery can lead to recklessness, and that's actually something that Gryffindors are quite known to do. They're quite reckless. That's just an excess of bravery. That is kind of my unprompted spiel about Slytherins. I feel very passionately about my house. At first, I couldn't actually decide that one thing that I really value above everything else is bravery. I have always wanted to be so brave, and yet when I was younger, I wanted the one word that describes me to be loyal, which very well corresponds with Hufflepuff. I'm also incredibly hardworking. I would do anything to get to a goal. I would overcome the hardest trials to achieve what I want, and that kind of also makes me a Hufflepuff. But again, it's that all these values are kind of mishmashed together. It just really matters why you're doing it, and the way I go about my loyalty. You know, in Slytherin you will find your true friends. The way I go about my loyalty and hard work is much more Slytherin and ambitious than just hardworking and loyal. Also, with my bravery aspect of it, I feel like I'm more ambitious to be brave than to actually want to be brave. So at first I was kind of torn between them. I'm like, I really value bravery, but I also value ambition so much. But I went over to Slytherin because I just feel like my ambition to do everything is so much stronger than everything else. Now to hear about a wand and Patronus from my side, so what I believe should be my wand and my Patronus. Okay, so I have gone through quite a few wand woods that I could potentially have for my wand, and luckily for me, the Wizarding World has a wonderful page where you could see the meaning of each wand wood. So at first I thought that I would have Ashwood because my name, but I do feel like a lot of these qualities do match up with me. It's just a matter of which quality matches up with me best and which one that I personally prefer the most. Like, Ashwood wands cleave to one true master, so they're incredibly loyal, which I like, and cannot be gifted or passed on, which I think also marries in with my actual disdain for change. And also it says that the witches or wizards holding these wands are not easily swayed from their beliefs, which is also very true for me. But an overconfident person might be disappointed with its effects, so the ideal owner might be someone very stubborn, which I definitely am, will certainly be courageous, which I try to be, but can never be crass or arrogant. I would try not to be arrogant, yeah, but I don't think that this is like the perfect description for a wand wood for me. We're going to go down to the pine wood first to see, since it gave it to me, like maybe pine wood is my proper wood. Pine chooses an independent and individual master who may be perceived as a loner. Yeah, that might be me. That actually might be me. Intriguing and perhaps mysterious. Yes, I would like to be mysterious, actually. And they enjoy being used creatively. I am very creative, so maybe this quiz is actually pretty accurate. But it says that they will adapt very easily to new methods and spells. Which honestly though, even though I don't like change, I can very easily work things out. Like, things that I've never done before, I can very easily pick them up and then start going along with them. So maybe pine wood is my ideal wood. I do have two other wand wood options, which I'm just going to go through, and then we're going to see which wood should I really get. There is the blackthorn wand, which I thought would actually suit me. Okay, blackthorn has a reputation to be suited towards a warrior. If there's one thing that I've always wanted to be, it is a warrior. I've always wanted to be a warrior who can protect and save people, and that is just my ideal goal in life, and I think it's my ambition to achieve that goal, which has led me to choose this wand. And it says that it produces the sweetest berries after the hardest frosts, which I think that is something that it's an analogy that I would like to apply to my own life. You know, same with the night is darkest before the sun rises. I like to be very resilient through trials. I sometimes purposely put myself through trials so that I can be made a better person, and I would like to think that I can become a better person after more and more trials, so hopefully that kind of suits me. And the Blackthorn Wand will become loyal and faithful, which I would love to be. I do think that I'm very loyal and very faithful when it comes to it, that I am very hard to sway from one place to another. Then we have the Hawthorn Wand. Okay, they are complex and intriguing in nature, just like the owners who best suit them. I feel like if I was a book character, I would be an incredibly morally grey character. I feel like my brain is just so full of things. Sometimes they may be like contradictory to what other things that I have felt and said, and you know. And I also feel like every human has a lot of complexity. I just feel like I take complexity to another level with my anxiety. I just make everything more complex than it has to be. But I feel like I also make my own nature more complex to other people in that process, so that might not be a good thing, but I think that it also suits. They are particularly suited to healing magic, and that also falls in with the warrior slash protective person that I want to be. You know, to heal people is definitely one of the top things up there in terms of saving and healing people. And they're usually most at home with a conflicted nature through a period of turmoil. Well, I am a very anxious person, so everything is a period of turmoil for me. And it is not easy to master, which is why I would like this. I love a challenge, and I like overcoming challenges. I like to prove that I am good at something. So that is why I would want a Hawthorn Wand. So, I would think that even though pine wood, like the quiz actually gave me a really good wood for my wand, I would still either go with blackthorn or hawthorn. I think maybe hawthorn more so than blackthorn, but I do think that the quiz did a pretty good job of giving me a good wand wood. It would be very, very rigid flexibility. I do not adapt to change well, and I hate change. I hate it so much, so not flexible. I had a phoenix feather core. I would like to disagree, and I would like to give myself a dragon heartstring core instead, because I just think that there's the word heartstring in it, which makes you feel like this is something that you know, I feel like when you relate things to the heart, it's usually like passion or love, and I feel like I do fit those criteria. I also feel like dragon heartstring also kind of, I don't know why I feel like this, but it just feels like it symbolizes like conquering over something, maybe because it kind of implies that it's taken out of the heart of a dragon. Yeah, so I would go with dragon heartstring core on that. We're going to go to my Patronus, and I feel like my Patronus would actually be a wolf, and there's actually a plethora of reasons for that, and one of those is that most of the time I can be kind of like a lone wolf, which is very cliche, but it also describes something that is out of the ordinary for such a social animal. And I like to travel in packs. I like my pack of people, my loved ones. I like to spend a lot of time with them. I like to talk with them about everything. I like to go on crazy adventures with them, and I just like to hang around them all the time. So I feel like in that aspect I am very social and close to my pack, but I can also be very much of a lone wolf. I'm very independent. Wolves are also pretty known for being misunderstood. They're taken as very scary and standoffish creatures, but they can in turn be actually really cute and cuddly like normal dogs, because, you know, dogs are 99% wolf anyways. 98% wolf? I don't know. But I feel like that's me. My face very much reflects someone that you would want to stay away from. I can look very scary, and because I'm very socially awkward, if I talk to someone for the first time, I may come off as a little bit rude or mean, especially since I have a very deep voice. All of these things married up together, and it produces a do not approach this person sign. But I can be pretty lovable, I think, when you get to know me, so I hope that's true. I hope my best friend can attest for that. Please, best friend, attest for that. And they're also known for being highly intelligent, which is what I strive for. You know, they say dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. So I will choose a wolf because I want to be intelligent, not necessarily because I am intelligent. Well, anyways, thank you for hanging around. That was my Wizarding World profile plus a few added spiels here and there because that do be me though. So I hope that you're having a good day. I hope that you continue to have a good day, and I will see you next time.